Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to our virtual visual arts class. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Miss Gutierrez, and I am going to be your art teacher for the entire year. So welcome to those of you who I've never met. I'm so excited that I get to teach you art this year. I'm so passionate and so excited about art, and I'm just glad that I get to share that with you, even if it's just through a computer screen for right now. For those of you who have already met me and have already been in my class, welcome back. I've missed you guys so much, and I'm so glad that I get to teach you again this year. So before we get into any art making, we are gonna go over some rules and a quick overview of things that you need to know before we start art this year. If you've already had me as an art teacher, I'm sure, and I really hope you remember our class chant that I start every class with. And if you have Zoom meetings, if you're in 3rd through 6th grade and have Zoom meetings with me, I am going to start all my Zooms with this chant as well. So it's really important that you remember it. And even if you're at home watching the recorded lesson and you hear me saying this to you over the recorded video, I want you guys to do the chant with me. So here is how it goes. I like to start every art class by saying, "Hello, my most amazing artists." And what you'll say back to me is, "Hello, my most amazing art teacher." And then I will ask you, "How are you today?" And you will say, "Ready to create." And then I have another little chant down here that I can tell you guys about, but that's not how I start my class. It's just another chant to remind us some things about art. But let's practice with me right now. So remember that when I say, "Hello, my most amazing artists," you say, "Hello, my most amazing art teacher." So I want you to practice that at home right now. Hello, my most amazing artists. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now we're gonna add the second part in. I'm gonna say, "How are you today?" And you're gonna say, "Ready to create." Okay, are you ready? How are you today? Okay, awesome. So we're gonna put it all together. Hello, my most amazing artist, I'll say. Hello, my most amazing art teacher, you'll say. I'll ask you how you are today, and you'll say, "Ready to create," and that's our class chant. So let's practice it one last time with it all together. Hello, my most amazing artists. How are you today? Amazing. I love it. Don't forget that. Practice that, because that is how I'm going to start every single class. And this other chant is just a repeat after me chant that sometimes we do in our class if we're getting frustrated with anything, to remind us, where our head needs to be at. So here is this chant. It just goes, "I make messes, I make mistakes, but deep down inside, I've got what it takes. I'm an artist." So that's just a fun little one that's also on here as well. But the main one that I want you to remember is our welcome chant, because you are going to be hearing a lot of that this year. So just wanted to let you know all about that chant. I want to tell you guys just a little bit about me so you can get to know me a little bit. Like I said already, my name is Miss Gutierrez, and here it is right in the middle of the screen. I'll start right over here. This is a picture of me and my family. This in particular photo was taken at Thanksgiving, and spending the holidays with my family is one of my favorite things. There's my mom, my little brother, who's obviously a lot taller than me, and my dad. Going over here, you can see the dinosaur, because dinosaurs are my favorite animal. Then we have a Mickey Mouse over here. I love going to Disneyland. It is one of my favorite places, and one of the places that I miss so much right now. I cannot wait till Disneyland is open and I can go back. This right here is my little puppy, Maisie. She is a little Chihuahua Terrier mix. She's about 7 months old. I got her at the end of the school year last year, and oh my goodness, I just love her more than anything. She is the sweetest thing. Right here we have Hawking STEAM Charter School. Obviously, I am a teacher and I love teaching art and I love working at Hawking. And of course, I added in this paintbrush because if you can't tell already, art is my favorite thing to do. Another one of my favorite places and people is over here. This is me and my boyfriend at the top of Mammoth Mountain. I love snowboarding and I love going on adventures and being in the outdoors and nature. And yeah, that is one of my favorite places in the world. And last but not least, we have a pink heart over here because if you have been in my class already, you know without a doubt that my favorite color is pink, and a big heart to show how much I love and care about every single one of you. So that's just a little bit about me. So I'm not a complete stranger to those of you who haven't met me before.
Class rules are pretty easy to remember. All you have to do is remember the word art. A stands for aim. Aim for your best and aim to do right. Now, art is not about being perfect. We make messes, we make mistakes, but what is most important is that we make our mistakes work. We don't get a new piece of paper, we don't throw it in the trash, we just try to make what we're creating or our so-called mistake into art. So don't give up on yourself, don't be so hard on yourself, just try your best. With art, you're never gonna be amazing at it on your first try. It takes many practices to get better, and the only way that you can get better in art is to just practice. So all you have to do is just aim to do your best and aim to do right, which means just follow the instructions and follow along and do what you need to do, and I promise you will become such an amazing artist by the end of the year. All the growth that happened last year with my students was incredible, and I know that you can do the same. And if I've already had you last year, then oh my goodness, I can't even wait to see how amazing your art is going to be at the end of the year. So let's move on to our next part of our rules, which is the R in art. R is for respect. Respect yourself, respect your friends, and respect the art room. Now, it's a little different than it traditionally is, since we are respecting our friends in the form of a Zoom meeting. So that means we need to be respectful during our Zoom meetings, which means talking to other students with respect in the chat, showing up on time, showing up ready to learn, and following all of the expectations that I'm going to outline that are important to make our Zoom meetings go well. And last but not least is the T, which is trust. You need to trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust in your ability to learn. So this kind of goes along with what I was saying about making mistakes in art. You just need to trust that whatever you're making is going to be a beautiful masterpiece, and you just gotta trust the process. Go step by step of what we're doing. Sometimes, even when I'm making art, I've been making art for years and years, I will think something looks, not very good, but I don't give up. I keep going and I go to the very end. And once I'm done and I add that one thing, that one final touch, it brings the whole art piece together and it's so beautiful. So you just gotta trust that step by step, when you're adding details and different colors and filling in that background, you gotta trust that what you're doing is going to be an amazing finished product, and trust in your ability to learn. I know it's easy to get frustrated, especially with art, because I'm not there to help you when we're doing this through a computer, but you need to trust yourself and know that as long as you keep trying, you are going to get better at art. I always tell my students the only way to get better with art is to practice every day, and that's what we're doing in my classroom. So those are our class rules, pretty easy to remember, and yeah,
let's move on to the next part of our video.
I want to show you all how you are going to be navigating visual arts this year. Now, this is my little Bitmoji virtual classroom. So everyone is going to look just like this. Your teacher is going to share this with you. It says, "Welcome to Visual Arts." It reads that your lessons will be posted here. In the next slide, you will click on your grade level link to find all of the resources in one place. You're going to go to the next slide. And listed here are every single grade that I teach for the elementary visual arts. So it's super simple. You're going to find your grade and you are going to just simply, there we go, click on it. And it will take you to your correct slide. So, of course, if you're a TK and Kinder, you're going to click on TK and Kinder, and it's going to say, "Welcome TK and Kinder to Visual Arts." Double check you are in the right place. Does it say your grade level on the welcome board? And if you weren't TK and Kinder, you're like, "Oh, wait, nope, I'm first grade." You're going to close out of that one, and we are going to go to first grade. And we are going to click on that document because every link will be different for each class. So it's really important that you are in the right place. And so we double check we're in the right place and we're like, "Yep, I'm in first grade." And here we are. So you have 2 sessions of art per week. Here are the links for session 1. So right now there isn't any links because when I'm recording this, I haven't put in your links yet. But when you come here, there will be any links to any video or any resources that you need for session 1. Then later in that week, you are going to have session 2 of your art. So when it's time for session 2, you will go to this screen. It says you have 2 sessions of art per week. Here are the links for session 2. And again, any links to any videos or resources that you need will be right here. Now that is specifically for TK through 2nd grade because all of your video lessons are recorded. But if you are in 3rd through 6th grade, yours look a little bit different. Say you are in 5th grade. And again, remember, double check that you're at your correct grade level because it does matter that you are in your grade because all the links are different. So it says here, you have 2 sessions of art per week, 1 live lesson and 1 recorded lesson. So you need to make sure on your schedule you're looking, do I have art live today or do I have it recorded today? The link to the live lesson will be here. Again, I haven't put that in there yet because I don't want anyone to have access to it yet. But once I put it in there, you will have a link right here to all of our Zoom sessions. Then when you have the recorded lesson, right here, we see that in red, you will have all the links to the videos or any resources that you need here. And that way it is very simple. All of what you need is in one place. It's all right here for every single grade. And it just makes it very easy for everyone to go in, look in there, and that is how you will access your art lessons for the remainder of however long we stay virtual. So that is how you guys are going to navigate our virtual visual arts classroom.
I'm going to tell you some of my suggested supplies that it would be awesome if you had at your house for art. Now, I know sometimes it can be difficult to get resources together for our art class, and that's why with every lesson, I'll be showing you ways to do our art lessons with limited supplies or even digitally if you do not have these supplies at home. But these are just my suggested supplies where if you can get your hands on these, they would be amazing to have at your house while we do our art lessons. The first one is just a sketchbook, just a book with plain pages in it, even a notebook with lined paper, that's fine. It's just nice to have a place where you can sketch, take notes that you have easy access to. Another important one that I think we're all gonna need is pencils. And I have my emoji pencils. If you were in my classroom last year, I'm sure you remember these. But yeah, pencils pretty much need for everything. For sketching, for drawing, for large art pieces, it usually always starts with some pencils. Also, I suggest to have a big eraser lying around because honestly, the little erasers on the back of pencils end up breaking so fast and they take forever to erase with. So a big eraser is great to have. Another one, I have my giant box here of crayons. Crayons are great for coloring in any type of art piece. I also have some other types of colors to color in our art piece. I have my big box of colored pencils. Colored pencils are great for shading, great for drawing. I also have markers. Now, if you don't have all three of these, that's fine. As long as you have one of them, some sort of color to color things in, you are totally fine. And if you want to get fancy, we use these in my classroom and I love them, oil pastels. But those aren't necessary at all. They could just be fun if when we're coloring in one of our art pieces, you wanted to switch it up and use oil pastels. Because when we color in our art pieces, I'm always gonna give you a choice of what kind of medium you want to use. With that being said, you could also use watercolors or any other kinds of paint. We typically use tempera paint instead of acrylic because tempera isn't permanent. It washes off of clothes as opposed to acrylic, which stains. Might not be a good idea, especially doing it from home. That would get very messy. But again, not necessary. But if you want paint and you have it at home and your parents let you use it in the house, then amazing. Paint is great. What else do we have here? Oh, and last but not least, but very important, is white paper. So any size, this is just regular printer paper. You could have big white paper. You could have giant butcher paper that is big as the paper on the wall. Whatever kind of paper you find, even if you only have lined paper, that's okay too. But you're gonna need some sort of paper for most of our art projects. But like I said, if you're having difficulty finding paper or anything like that, or maybe you have a day where you're somewhere else and you don't have access to your art supplies, I'm also going to be showing you some really cool websites where you can create art digitally, where all you'll need is your device. So that is our suggested art materials that I think would be awesome for you guys to have. So yeah, that's it for this section of the video.
All right, the next part of our video is going over Zoom expectations. Now, this particular introductory video is a video that I've made for all grades, which includes TK through 6th. However, if you are in TK through 2nd grade, you are not going to meet with me in Zoom. You are only going to watch the videos that I record for your art lessons. So these Zoom expectations do not apply to you. Again, this is specifically for 3rd through 6th graders. Now, it's important that to our Zoom meetings, you are on time. Now, I know that you can't always log on a few minutes early because some of your specials classes are back to back, but do your best to make sure you're there right when we start. We only have a limited amount of time and I want us to use every single minute that we can to create art because it's not a ton of time. It's also important that you're in a quiet place. Check your surroundings. Make sure that you are in a space that you can focus in so you can do your best work. Also, be prepared. Make sure your computer is charged, your face is shown, and you use headphones if you have them. Now, it's going to be hard for me to talk to all of you guys individually because when you guys come to my art class, I have 75 students in my live sessions. So that's quite a bit. But if I could at least see your face and start to get to know you, that would be amazing. And then for the students that I do already know, it'll be great to see your familiar face on my computer screen. Also, make sure you're wearing appropriate clothing, sit up straight, make sure you're in the camera view. It's really important to mute yourself when I am talking or another student is talking, especially like I said, with 75 students in there, it's important that you're muted and being an active listener when other people are speaking. And be focused, be attentive. And when I ask questions, I'd love for you to be an active participant. That's what makes our class fun, is if I can get you involved. Chat responsibly. If you have a question, please type it in the chat box or raise your hand. Make sure that I pick on you. Like I said, with 75 students, if I have students yelling out, it's going to be really difficult to hear what you're saying, and it's going to be very distracting for the rest of the class. When you are speaking to me, make sure that you're speaking clearly. Look up when you're speaking, and please try to stay on topic. No side conversations. We have a limited amount of time, as I said, and unfortunately, as much as I wish we had time to just chat and catch up, we got to be strictly focused on art. And last but not least, most importantly, be respectful. Respect the art classroom. It's one of our important rules. Be kind, be considerate to those around you, to yourself, and also to me. So those are our Zoom expectations.
Well, that wraps up everything that you need to know to be successful in visual arts this year. I am so excited to teach you. I'm so excited for our next art session where we actually get to make art, because I know that is the best part. And I wish we could dive right into it, but we have to lay out a little bit of the rules before we just dive in head first to our art making. But I'm so happy that I got to meet you, and I'm so happy that I got to talk to you, and I'm so happy that I could record this from inside my art class so you feel a little bit like we're back in the classroom, even though we're not. And yeah, it was nice meeting everyone virtually, and I am excited for the next time I see you when we make some awesome art. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.